So how that could have happened, I still don't know. The state of Georgia doesn't have any answers for us when we question them about how that could possibly have happened, why it took them 5 days to serve a search warrant, why by the time they got there everything was gone, why they didn't question it. You know, you probably have the exact same questions that I do at this point, but guess how many answers I got for them? 0. We were basically just told, oh, we're sorry, we don't know how that happened, but not really a big deal. And here's the truth. We didn't want the shit. The shit was toxic. We would have fucking burned it. But the evidence. I would have gone to that fucking house myself and put that shit in my fucking car if I'd known that they were just gonna let his brother and his brother's wife, who's a cop, destroy it all. But so, if you were ever in my situation, which God, I pray that you're not, but if anyone that you know has ever been sexually assaulted, do not trust that the cops are going to keep that evidence safe. Don't do it. I would have taken her that night to that house and done that. I would have broken into that fucking house and risked getting arrested for a B&E. If you're in that situation, do that. Do not trust that they will do what they're telling you they'll do, because guess what? They don't always do it. And sometimes when they don't, the ramifications are great. I'd have gone to jail for 2 nights to get a B&E as long as I secured that evidence. I'd have been happy. I'd have spent 2 nights in jail. Proud to do it. But I didn't know. I didn't know. This is all information that we did not find out until later, but it took place at this time. If you go onto Google, you can find the original bond hearing where he sits in front of a judge and they name off all of the original charges that they charged him with. If you watch that video, when he comes in, he whispers something to his brother. That man that he's whispering to in that video, that's his brother. That woman sitting beside that man, that's his brother's wife, the cop. They stood behind him. They stood behind him in spite of every bit of evidence that they had destroyed. They knew. They knew. They still stood behind him. So if you watch that video, you see he whispers something in his brother's ear. You know what he's whispering? His password to all of his bank accounts. They moved in to that house. The brother and his wife, who's a cop, live in the house where that man did horrible, unspeakable things to my child. They live there now. Yep. So these are all not things that we did not know at the time, okay? These are all things that we've learned, mostly at the plea hearing, is when we discovered that it took them 5 days to serve the search warrant. By the time they served the search warrant, all the evidence was gone. They didn't even find a computer in his home at all. And this is a man who is so prolific on Steam. He had 3 monitors set up. Dude, there were no computers found, and that wasn't in any way suspicious. There was nothing found in the room that she was in. All that shit was gone. That room was nothing. It was empty. And the police didn't question that, but it took them 5 days to serve the search warrant, so they gave them plenty of motherfucking time to destroy any evidence that they wanted to. So, But we didn't know any of that at the time. Like, at the time, all we knew was that our kid was safe and we were getting to her, and you could not have stopped me from getting to her. So at this point, we're driving on the interstate about 35 minutes outside of Atlanta. We get a call from Pete. He tells us exactly where to go, which is a rural police station in Gwinnett County. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's like a very industrialized area. There were very few houses, and it was very dark. And when we get there, the police station, all the lights are off. Nobody's inside. It's all boarded, like locked up. And we were like, we're in the wrong place. Waze has taken us to the wrong police station. And right when we start to get back in our car thinking that we're in the wrong place, the security gate opens up and 2 officers come outside and they say, "Are you Sean and Tony?" And we're like, "Yes." "Do you have Hailey?" And they're like, "Yes." But her appearance is very frightening. She's very skinny. She is malnourished. She's very weak. Please be very careful with her. Please don't yell at her, which we were never going to yell at her. We were not upset with her. But I can understand how some moms would go in there and be like, "You should not have run away. Look what you did." But we weren't going to do that. I'm going to try to shoot this without getting emotional, y'all, but it is incredibly hard. We walk into this police station, and if you've ever seen a briefing room, then you know what it looks like. It's a room with a table, like a long table, 16 chairs, a table, 3 tables in a row. And she was on the other end of the tables, and we came in the door. We were not even in the doorway. She heard my voice as I was talking to the other person. And I was like, oh, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to do that. She heard my voice and ran from the other end of the room over to me and ran into me right here. She put her head right here. She put her arms like this underneath me, and she held on to me so tight. She has never squeezed me that tight. And she said, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And we were like, baby. Okay, so people that are asking why she didn't just contact us, pay close attention to this part of the story. So she's holding me so tightly, tighter than she's ever held on to me, even as a baby. She never, held on to me as tight. I could barely breathe, y'all. And I'm so sorry, please don't be mad at me. I'm so sorry, please don't be mad at me, please don't be mad at me. And we're sitting here going, baby, no, we're not mad at you. We never were. No one was ever upset with you. He had convinced her that we were mad at her, that we had filed runaway petitions for her, that if she ever contacted us, we would have her arrested and put in a psych ward until she turned 18. None of these things are true, of course, but he's a manipulative, narcissistic fucking ass. And to show you how scared and manipulated she was, even in a police station, she feared him. I'm going to try not to cry, but this part I always cry because I just have so much love and respect for officers of the law. I know there's some of them out there that are bad, and a lot of them just be shooting people in the streets without figuring out why, and I don't understand why rules of engagement does not apply, but none of that is relevant. As a general rule, I have mad love and respect for police officers. Y'all are fucking heroes. It's a dangerous goddamn job, and it's easy to be a fucking Monday morning quarterback when you're not out there risking your life for people you don't even fucking know. So I have a lot of respect for cops. So at this point, we're in the briefing room. We've calmed Hailey down. We've explained to her that all of those things were a lie. None of those things are true. We're so happy to have you back. Don't even worry about all that shit. And slowly, on the back of the wall of the police station, police officers start coming in. Some in uniform, some in plain clothes, some are state troopers, some are highway patrol, some are police officers. They just slowly... So the police officers start trickling into the back of the police station. And some of them are highway patrol, some are police, some are plain clothes. And they are all crying. They are grown men in uniform with guns. And they are crying. And I am trying so hard to not cry because Hailey really needed me to be strong. And I wanted to just break out, but I was trying so hard to be strong for her because I knew if I started crying, she was going to start crying again. And so at one point I looked to the officers and I'm like, are we keeping you from anything? I mean, I don't want to take you away from, cop life-saving business. And he said, there is nowhere in the world that any of us want to be more than right here with you and your daughter right now. And I said, I'm sure there's stuff you can do, like cop stuff. And they said, we want the win. We really want the win.